time it is, man. As y'all see by the title, man, we're gonna go ahead and break down a lot of stuff because a lot of people don't understand, man. When you say the matrix is breaking down, or you want to say the matrix is being destroyed, or however you want to look at it, Babylon has fallen, the matrix has fallen. However you want to look at it, it's all talking about the same thing. You know, it's just the way that people like to relate it or whatever. But before even getting into that, we got to understand when we see systems failing and things is not working. And a lot of times they like to hide and mask these things. So when it comes down to, you know, us having to trust the media and stuff like that, we got to be careful for what we listen to, whether it's on the news or whether it's a content creator. You got content creators that be working in disguise, played as agents, and they'll make it sound like that's not what's actually going on. It's something else. So they try to throw you off. And you know, a lot of these people, that's the reason why their channels and stuff get promoted like that. Because they getting paid or they got someone that's invested in them because they invested in their word. You get what I'm saying? So it comes with a lot of that. They always play with power when it comes to investing in the word. How you think a lot of y'all got this holy Bible here? You know what I'm saying? If you look at who actually wrote it and stuff like that, they said the author believed that God gave them the words. And they're literally saying it like because they're saying they're the author. So they're the ones talking to you. So if you don't understand like reverse psychology and psychological things like that, in order for someone to get the understanding of what you got going on, then you're gonna be getting got by a lot of different things out here, man. So for people like we don't have one of them say something about, you know, people are lazy. You know, I done heard agents say that people are lazy and people not doing their job right. That's the reason why some people getting fired. No, that's not. Maybe at a small job or something like that, but these major companies and all that there, they getting hit and they falling off and they don't want people to know. You know why? Because the cost of living have that they done got so greedy till they done put up and try to, you know, produce so much from something so little. Now that the cost of living is like that, now it's like people is like, yo, I can't afford this type of stuff. I can't afford to keep spending money here. And then you got the AI replacing the job. So it's all different type of networking that's going on that's making it all collapse. But that's not the only thing. The thing that's making people wake up, aka the matrix, you know, is starting to shut down because people is realizing that they're being played a fool. You get what I'm saying? More people in the world now realize that they've been played with versus the people that what in the beginning. Hold up. So much was on my down. I see like okay. But yeah, now we looking at it where, you know, people in the world now is starting to wake up and realize like, damn, we keep getting played with, man. We living in order just to try to fulfill somebody else's job obligations and keeping their business running. But as soon as the business don't need me no more, or as soon as I'm not profitable to them, they could just fire me, or even not even that. They could just go through something where they did something bad with business, they ain't invest their money properly, or another thing is when they just get too greedy, when they just trying to cut back on people because they see like, okay, we could get this to do that, we get this one person to do that. Of course, they think business minded. So a lot of y'all don't understand that. It's a dog eat dog world. So when it come down to that, this is the reason why these big businesses thrive off stuff. So even when it come down to small businesses, private owned business, y'all that might not understand how those work. A lot of those done got bought up over time. You know what I'm saying? It used to be a whole bunch of food lines. Now it's like a little bit. You had a whole bunch of sweet bays. You had a whole bunch of these places, right? Whole bunch of Winn Dixies, whole bunch of big lots, whole bunch of a lot of these little other places that we not even focusing the mass layoffs around because the mass layoffs coming from mostly federal workers and stuff like that, right? And people that work at like Google, Microsoft, and junk like that. So I'm finna show y'all a whole breakdown, what I got pulled up right in there right now, of showing you the mass layoffs of that ain't got nothing to do with it because of people work ethic. They ain't got nothing to do with it. So as people starting to see that, they starting to see that it's not no loyalty behind, you know, going so hard for these companies and stuff. But anyways, I'm gonna end up getting into it regardless. Go ahead and get to it real quick. So to show y'all this. But it's just crazy how the world be working, man. You know, everybody's starting to wake up and start to make a difference. You know, the people's voices and junk do make a difference. Even like with them trying to remove dyes and stuff like that. At first they were acting like they was acting like it's cool to leave dyes, artificial dyes in our food and so many preservatives. When we started complaining, people started waking up. It started actually making a difference. They had to play it off some, you know, get on to some of the companies and stuff like that. But hold on real quick, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all the breakdown of the mass layoffs. Cause you know, old boy's talking about some other stuff. So let me show it real quick, y'all. Hold up. All right. All right, real quick. This is just the ones, bomb. And y'all see this, right? So I don't know what the guy down in the chat was. He had to be an agent talking about some people just getting fired. No, look, these things is mass cutoffs. Why? Why? Because they're reconstructing for future success. You see this? So all these jobs right here is now firing people because now they have AI. What's good, Hannah? Now they have AI. Now they have these things where they could basically replace you at some of these jobs where they don't need you no more. If you notice, the big time jobs where they're replacing them at is based off of a computer science degree. So when you're looking at it, that's one college thing that fails you automatically now, where years ago it was a lot more successful. So some of these things automatically going to replace and start changing in the world. That's why they're using this stuff. That's why they got the chat GPTs and all of that there. They're making things more accessible for them to be able to use against whatever you got going on. So when it comes down to this, we start seeing like, okay, it can't be the work ethic of the person. It just got to be something bigger than that. You know what it is? It's the cost of living, and they see that some companies is getting away with it. Instead of some companies paying 200 employees, they can pay just 20 employees to try to get the same job done. Yeah, it's more work on the employees and stressing them out, but do they really care? You get what I'm saying? We already starting to see that. Like I said, everyone waking up and starting to see that these companies is not loyal. You know what I'm saying? You can put your back into it and break your back for a company, then later on regret it. Now, back in the days, you probably had a little bit more trust into these companies, but now it's really a dollar for dollar. It's really a battle like that. It's really like even them clout chasing. You know how everybody trying to get clout, everybody want to be a content creator? It's the same thing with them. They want to be in the airfield too, because what they know is the sixth dimension controls your attention. So now you can have thoughts and feelings of what to do with, the things that they're selling or producing. So anyways, let me go back outside real quick, man. I just had to come in here and show y'all that real quick. What's good, G Money? So we got more than how many this is? This is just in 2025. Let it go through real quick. You got Microsoft, Meta, Intel, Amazon, and all these tech sectors, even Starbucks. I know y'all seen the Starbucks ones recently. UPS, Panasonic, all this stuff, John. CrowdStrike, Intel. If y'all don't know, those are the people that got like with the Microsoft, with the hardware. So touch about computers and stuff. Hold on real quick, y'all. I'm gonna have to definitely get some mods when people say weird junk in the chat. I see that. My bad, y'all. But yeah, man. Either way, that junk is crazy to me. We're gonna have to start getting rid of these damn trolls one by one. Cause at the end of the day, these motherfuckers here, they always trying to come in and just say some random junk and throw people off. I ain't got time for that today, dog. Either way, man, going back to it, it all be a scam, dog. All be them just showing themselves and uncovering themselves. Cause how soon as you get something like this, people start attacking. People start randomly coming in saying stuff that don't make no sense. You get what I'm saying? Julia, what's good? Dilbert, what's good, homie? I don't know what's going on, but what's good with all y'all? But either way, man, getting back to it. It's just crazy because they don't see how people starting to read their playbook, starting to get what they got going on. Even McDonald's, they tried to hurry up and try to make a plea deal. No, don't try to make a plea deal with the people. People are starting to gain their power back. People feel like, you know what, y'all already selling me poison. I might as well kill myself. Yeah, this might be messed up, but going to y'all is way more. You get what I'm saying? So now people starting to break down to, hey, hold on, let's try to go to these forums. So as soon as people started going to forums more and started buying more of the organic price, even if it was a little higher, now they started to play games on the farmers. Look at what the farmers going through with the soybean and all this type of junk here. You got to see the agenda behind it. Then you got to be able to see what's really going on. Because then when you turn your back and look at what's going on with the private farms and stuff like that, people starting to buy these farms. Like if they ain't working with a corporation, they're trying to buy and take over these places. So it's the big business take over little business thing, but we already know it's just a whole play on numbers. So you already just part of the game, just depending on what game you playing, you got to know how to play it. So even when you look at what's going on between, the mass layoffs, everybody starting to complain about the cost of living, people starting to complain about jobs. And that's another thing, right? Where we have these mass layoffs, but they ain't telling y'all, they even faking jobs. Like it's bad when they got to fake jobs and act like, they out there hiring and stuff like that, to make it look like, the system is steady working. Still depend on the system. So it's like they last regrets of trying to get everybody to still depend on the system. But a lot of people starting to wait and realize that these systems never was in favor for them. You get what I'm saying? Only to and take their mind. Never was for the individual to have a critical thinking. It was all only made for you to have a thinking like a crowd. You get what I'm saying? Where you follow along with the rest of the sheep of the world. And that's how they like you to think. I already broke that down when I explained the education system of how it was created and how it got brought into America and stuff like that. So when it come down to that, we already done did a whole rundown of talking about how these people, go ahead psychologically, go ahead and start playing with your mind before you even get up to age. So by the time you 12 years old, you already brainwashed. You just really don't know it. You get what I'm saying? And that's how the brainwashing work. It ain't like you're going to understand it or be able to know it at the first cent. You're going to have to run into some experiences and realize, damn, I'm being played a fool. So even with like the Christianity beliefs and all that, look at how some of these people done turned their back, or look at some of these people done broke out of these same Christianities or these magical squares, because they had to realize, hold on, something wasn't for me. It was literally secretly against me, but by me going along with it, I didn't realize the things that I'm doing. A lot of people start realizing this shit now, because you got these people, they try to be so greedy. When you try to take so much, you start, opening up other portals. And what I mean by that is opening up other people's minds for them to be able to think properly, for them to be able to connect back to themselves. Because, man, that's like one of the realest things, because a lot of people start losing themselves and don't even realize they became a whole NPC out here in this world. You know what I'm saying? They start botting hard as hell. So this is the reason how we get these agents and stuff created, where they be like, oh, it's just you, your work ethic. No, they ain't got shit to do with it, bro. You know they ain't got nothing to do with it. They ain't even got nothing to do with being consistent on YouTube and none of that stuff. Consistency on YouTube ain't gonna necessarily bring you to the top. It might help your channel, but it's not gonna necessarily bring you to the top. Because think about it like this, and sometimes it actually hurt because the way that it play off. So some people go by numbers and stuff. So when you come back, if your numbers ain't spiked or something like that, a lot of people might not even mess with it. So this is just telling y'all how much they done ran the game up and started, trying to overtake or do too much. So at the end of the day, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? We starting to figure out that these systems need us more than we need them systems. So yeah, it's a couple people that was talking about doing a strike, but you got to understand that takes a lot of people to be on the same accord. And a lot of people ain't going to be on that same accord. You know what I'm saying? Some people looking at it like, hey, that's y'all jobs, not ours that's at the risk. You get what I'm saying? So we got all that different type of stuff playing out where, even when it come down to spirituality and shit like that, some people ain't even hearing these niggas no more. You know what I'm saying? So like, at the same time, it used to be people where everybody used to try to be spiritual. Everybody tried to have something to talk about. And they're starting to use it now as like a gateway or for them to get into something else. And it's like, those ones starting to stand out too. So like people starting to peak that. And that's the good thing about that. So like at the end of the day, yeah, we got a lot of sleep people and a lot of people that just want to be, slumped to the world and don't want to pay attention to what's going on. But at the same time, we got more woke people than we had probably about 20 years ago. You get what I'm saying? And starting to really realize, like, damn, dog, we all keep getting played. And this is the same way they played us before, but they just doing it with a different skin on it. Like, it's the same damn thing. So it's like the same way these kids play the game. Yeah, it's the same game. You might have just switched the character, the skin, because they don't even have the character switch sometimes. So you switch the skin, yeah, it's the same game still. You know what I'm saying? You just change that around. What the hell is this? Oh, so I fell on my damn shirt game. I was like, what the hell is it? But yeah, man, this is crazy. I just like when people question me on stuff like that, because it's like, bro, how can you say that? Is you even talking or experiencing with people? So a lot of these people that done been behind the internet, they have been behind the internet so long and haven't been in touch with, real people and stuff like that. A lot of y'all don't understand that because y'all work at regular jobs. You know what I'm saying? Just like I do. Y'all work at regular jobs, so y'all in contact with people. So a lot of this stuff you can see even be internet agendas, like, the red pills, the feminist push, all that stuff there be more on the internet than it do in real life. You don't never see none of that junk in real life. It be mainly just the internet. But anyways, when it come down to stuff like that, that's the reason why they went to using it, because it opened up people's brain. It was more persuasive than television itself. Why you think every program has transition itself? They know how to play with business. One thing about them, they gonna follow the trend. You know what I'm saying? YouTube get it popping, they're gonna be on YouTube. Instagram popping, they're gonna be on IG. However it goes, these people gonna make sure they follow the network of, what we build. And that's what be crazy. We build up these networks and programs and systems, and then next thing you know, they just give us the boot. So people overall is starting to realize that and starting to get unplayed from what these people got going on. And then you gotta think, all of it be just to confuse masses and have people hating each other, and then for you to go your whole life stressed out, not being able to enjoy it, and then next thing you know, you dead. Like, y'all gotta understand, the mental, your mind is the heaven and hell, depending on where you got your mind at. It ain't no actual heaven and hell like a place that you're going. So that's the way they like to do it. What's good, Lee? So they like to do stuff like that to, like, confuse the masses and stuff. So they got a whole thing where if you never told your baby about religion, your baby would never think of a place called heaven or a place called hell. And then instead of that, when they even explain that the heavens is something that people don't listen to no more. People listen to man more than they listen to, heavens or God or Father speaking. People don't know how to do astrology. So you got that. And then now they'll rather go talk to a man about what God want them to do or how should they approach God and all this type of stuff there. So you got the ministers, you got all these fake leaders leading you right back to man, but they're telling you that it's not man, but in every scripture, they're explaining the human in some type of form. So now we see how these people have been adopted to remember and, praise some type of man. Now, the thing about it is you have to go back deep and see where this stuff was coming up from. These them castle days, this one of these people going to wars and stuff like that these people decided to write Bibles and stuff and said that their language is already proven by God because they're the author. Now, come on now. So you don't even know who writing your books. The people that wrote your books is not from America. So when it comes down to that, you're looking at a whole book that's not based off of you, but shows you how it could take over you and how most of your people in this world believe in it. It was more than 83% of the population in the U.S. believing in Christianity at one point. Do y'all know that? People are starting to even look at that like, damn, starting to question that and realize like, man, y'all people is a fluke. Y'all just trying to get people on the board with y'all. And really for the ones that's up top, it's just a money thing for them. They tax-free. They get money from the, what's the name? And say that it's money for the church. They could get all type of fundraisers, all type of, it's like all the things behind the layers. And a whole bunch of stuff where they can just bring this stuff up, man. So we dealing with people that's out here that's like literally don't understand how marketing works. And then that's another thing. When you try to have an understanding for marketing, politics, religion, and you try to find an understanding for how it works, that would make you look crazy because you ain't seeing how the common sense play out. You always losing. It's always something. They'll blame anything. They'll say this lady took $2 million and sent them over there. Or this person took $2 billion and sent them over there. But yet we still owe them and we still working. No, that's just called slave. They just called being a slave. They prepped it up and put it in a little gift wrap. You know what I'm saying? They made it look like a present box when you went to it. So when you went to the, try to get into these things, we didn't realize that it was gift wrap. But it was us becoming slaves again, just with a little bit more freedom as we think. But if you think you free, go ahead. Go try to walk somewhere. Go ahead. Go try to live in the woods. You'll end up getting kicked out of it when they find where you're from. You'll end up going to jail. Like they end up pushing prosecution over things anyway. So they kind of force you to be with the system. Like if you don't want to play the game, you ain't got no choice. Here go the game. You better know how to play it. So we got people nowadays that'll lead you right back into the game to get you lost. They'll say, hey, the job market not crashing. The housing market not crashing. None of that. Just get 3 jobs. You'll be all right. Now you working 3 jobs for 15 years, couldn't even enjoy your life. You in somebody's hospital, bent over, breaking down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, bro. For what? For another company that as soon as something go down with you, if you ain't have no ties with them, you're not getting no retirement. You're not getting no pension. So you got to be there for a certain time. And all of this, man, you got to come on, man. So you telling me you got to give up more than like basically 30 years of your life just in order for them to pay you a check that most people that's retired right now saying that their check is not enough. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Something where it's not enough. And then you got to think, yeah, the cost of living even killed that. So when you got these people running business scams and something like that, they all together. It ain't got nothing to do with no tariffs. But if they could use that and, get away with it, they will. So a lot of this stuff, let them tell it be made in America. But yet, the electronics, we know damn sure don't. I don't know what be going on with that. We'll make some speakers or something, but most of them electronics, they do like to get them from across seas and over stuff like that because we can tell how fast it breaks too. Like Walmart, they say it was mainly getting issued by China. So when you're looking at all this type of stuff here, man, it's just all world agreements, y'all. These ain't no actual battles. These ain't no actual tariffs. This is ways that these companies, these big time leaders is getting ways for their people to spend more money or just to make the cost of living or make their life just harder. They try to enhance theirs. That's all it is, just to gain more control. So you see how they'll do that. They'll cut you off as soon as you thought you was a shit, making, $60, $70 an hour, then they'll cut you from that job. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Think about how much those people was making at Google, Intel, and all that. Realistically, bro, it's going to be hard to live their life or to get another job that's equal to it. You get what I'm saying? Like, man. So even when you think about it like that, on a small note, I was just explaining the other day, even my job, right? My job is firing everybody because of the simple fact they closed it down. And it's multiple of them that closed down. In Florida alone, they closed more than like 20 of my jobs down. Like 20 of the stores down. So at the end of the day, they just show you, and these 20 stores was nearby country towns and stuff like that, where these people ain't really have too many options to be able to go get food. But do you think they care? Hell no, they don't care. It's business is business. So this is the reason why we see things like them, them breaking down junk and re-bringing up some new stuff and making us go through them. So we going from a fresh bakery, fresh seafood place, to all that, to just everything already bad, pre-ready, and you just grab the bag and go. So we don't know where that's coming from now. And then you got Europe companies and stuff like that buying stuff in U.S. You know what I'm saying? Taking over these companies as well. So a lot of people might not understand that. You got to be in these fields sometimes to understand what's going on. A lot of this stuff they're not going to put under the light. You get what I'm saying? That's period. Because this is how they run manipulation. This is how they create narratives. If they show you certain things that mess up the narrative that they're trying to create. So even with the mass layoff stuff, trust me, it's a narrative behind that as well. So they use all of this junk. And I'm not saying that it ain't happening, but what I'm telling y'all is they're using that because just like when you start digging into it, they're using that because they want to replace people because they're trying to do it from a business perspective. They're telling you, hey, man, we trying to hold back on finances. We trying to reconstruct ourselves. We trying to rebuild, but we need to get rid of a lot of y'all because at the end of the day, y'all just wearing our pockets down. We don't need you no more. You get what I'm saying? And that's just how it is. We get looked at as numbers and stuff. So until the people all the way start realizing that and start taking our power back to the point that we got more than just that, we come up with our own politics, our own type of stuff besides what's going on. And I don't even like to use that word because it's so corrupted. You get what I'm saying? So when you're looking at a system full of corrupt people and corrupt individuals, not just one lifetime, not just 2 lifetimes, but multiple lifetimes, the whole time they've been around, should start questioning and wondering, to yourself, like, what the hell is going on out here? But a lot of people ain't got time to think about that because, we got to push the gas. We got to hurry up, get out there, try to make this money to pay these bills, try to, pay the light bill, so pay the insurance, pay your car note if you got one, all type of stuff, your daycare if you got to pay for that. So it's a lot of things where people, of course, they need the money. So they play a lot of tricks on you where they know, hey, you need us more than we need you. So they playing that type of trick on you. But really, at the end of the day, it got to be a united thing. Because you try to do it on yourself, bro, you're going to look crazy. I ain't even going to lie to you. You're going to put yourself in jeopardy and lose out on your money. And that ain't the way it's supposed to work. So don't get it twisted. I ain't telling y'all not to work as in that. But I'm saying if we're going to make group decisions as a population, it got to be chosen wisely. Not just a whole group going out by themselves. Because you're going to just look crazy. They're just going to hire a whole nother staff and replace you. There's going to be somebody willing to do the job. You get what I'm saying? There's going to be somebody willing to have that money that you didn't have. So now, even when it comes out of that, you got Americans, right, where every country call us lazy. And it kind of got its own proof to it, right? So when they tried to get rid of all the Mexicans, now they got people at the farm don't even know what they're doing. And you got a lot of black people don't want to do farm work. And that ain't no use lying. And you got a lot of white people that don't want to do farm work. So now, when you got people that don't even want to do these jobs, that add in, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is them shaving down people anyway because they're trying to keep control. When you keep dimming down the population, as soon as people think life is good and stuff like that, but at the same time, they got to play it out like this because I said the system is shutting down. People starting to realize what's going on. So it's almost like they kind of get away from it, like they're trying to lighten the load on themselves. So that's the way that it been going on, man. Hold on, y'all. I got to get some water real quick. For real. Let's set this up somewhere. See what I'm going to put this in real quick. Yeah, I'm going to get into some spiritual talk, y'all. You got to pay it off with these minutes nowadays, or your butt gets shadow banned if you start too early. Hold on real quick. Hold on, buddy. What in the world are you talking about, shit? Boom. So even when it comes to our health and stuff, we had to even question that. So not only the job industry, but when it comes to our health and our food, where how things play out, like I be telling y'all all the time, bro, you don't know until you actually try to deal with somebody, right? And you find out, okay, yeah, we as taxpayers is paying a lot of money towards this stuff as they tell you, but yet the people that we're paying and looking for them to get, they're not actually getting. A lot of people is even unaware to how to even sign up to try to receive disability or SSI. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people is not educated like that. So really, there's no form. It's like your knowledge is gonna make you pay regardless. So when you don't know something, they can always run game on you. The same thing they do with the religions, the politics and stuff like that. If you just believe in them and just always been in that circle, it don't even matter if you transition from one politics to the other. You just choosing between the bias that fit you more. But they both still fucked up. You get what I'm saying? All religions, you join one, they still all messed up. Yeah, they got good people in them. Some people do got the right intentions, but that do not speak for the religion intentions itself or why it was created or why it was designed. See, one thing about it, y'all be trying to change the things. But no, you got to let it ride. If this religion was designed to enslave people, that's what it is. The Anglican Church is the Catholic Roman Church that gave a lot of anointings to people like George Bush, to people like Martin Luther, and all these type of people. Not Martin Luther King, y'all. Martin Luther, the white guy. You get what I'm saying? Gave all these type of people power to be able to control and tell masses what to do. So when y'all want to talk about the author of the Bible and stuff like that, you got to get into it deep, because you got to understand it was 47 scholars. Then these 47 scholars never was on your side. These people come from Rome and trying to run people. You know what I'm saying? They got all Catholic. That's why you see the Catholicism and everything. You get what I'm saying? So when it comes to the Roman Catholics, we got to realize how secret societies move and all this stuff else. It all ties together. So a lot of people might not get that. You know what I'm saying? Because they stuck in their one square. I remember when I used to be, around a lot of religious people, it used to be like one angle all the time. It's just like, what color you think God is? You think they was telling me the truth? Man, listen, the book was made by people regardless. So if you understand what they was meaning, yeah, that's goody for you. But at the same time, it was used as a mass weapon for motherfuckers. Let me tell you, the mind is a terrible thing to waste, right? The reason why they say that is because they know in order to control the world, you don't control the body. You control the mind. If you control the mind, you can grab masses. You control the body, you can grab a couple people off the likeness. But if you can control the mind and understand where the mind going to go at, or understand how somebody's going to be thinking or really responding or reacting to something, oh, you got them. So, yeah, you better believe they know astrology. You better believe when they were talking about, like, astrology could be evil or spirituality could be evil, a lot of people got lost into it. You know why? Because they push you into a thing where they just badmouth everything, make it a category, and then try to slide you in that category. Like, so once you pick that category, you can't be in nothing else. So it's like when you pick that box, that's all you could be in. I swear I heard something. So yeah, either way, when you pick that box, that's which one you got to be in. So it's like they giving us like, boom, pick a casket basically, and what that casket is basically, hey, you selling yourself to death. So anything you thought that you was gonna have, nah, it ain't coming like that. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna have to do a lot of sacrificing to get there, or a lot of biting others, or a lot of pushing others down just to get there. And they made it like that way so they could figure out, okay, who would be more with it? What company would be more willing to let down their people, lie to their people, and just keep it pushing because they care more about the prophecy or more about the money. So when we come down to that, we got all that stuff tied together. This is the reason why I tell y'all the business, the education, religion, politics, and all that runs together, even entertainment. So we got to understand that. You know what I'm saying? These people shake hands with each other in order to do deeds and things that we're not part of. The only thing we're doing is just taking part in it. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no say-so in this jump. So now we out here all feeling like something is wrong. Feeling like something is wrong and something is unbalanced. You bet it is. You bet it is unbalanced. We done allowed this shit to go too far to the point that a person could make an AI content creator get paid for a content creator and just steal other people's content ideas, or just steal other people's ideas in general. So steal people's viewpoints, talking points, and could just sit up there and now you just raid in the crowd. Because why? People believe in a lot of shit now. People like to believe in the hurt. More people waking up to the truth, but that's just what it is, man. But anyways, that's all I'm gonna talk about on that topic there. I'm finna go live tonight, and I got a whole nother talking point I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I had to hurry up and get this one out of the way because when somebody question or somebody say something crazy like, "Oh nah, it's just the American people are just too lazy to work." Hell nah, you got some people out here work 3-4 jobs, bro. You got some people out here really don't mind grinding, and they just they'll take any work they get. So when it comes out of that, it's a whole bunch of mix up. But you can't let agents make it sound like it's just the people. Make it sound like, oh, you just picked the wrong politic. Oh, you just picked the wrong religion. Oh, you just picked the wrong people to be around. No. That ain't how it work, bro. And y'all know that. So y'all be playing y'all little role of agents and trying to get people and recruit people to do dumb junk anyways. But anyways, man, I'm out. OG Drug.